How would your life change if you could use fear as a tool for growth rather than a barrier? Imagine turning those obstacles into stepping stones for personal growth and professional growth. Well, today we're going to discuss how to turn that fearful fuel into a fearless frequency. Let's go. So welcome back to Master Your Code on Life Academy, aka MyCol Academy, a sacred space to master your code, nurture your growth, and find your way through life. My name is MyCol, and I'll be your guide today. So I have a presentation all queued up, and we're going to hop right into it. So in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about how to transmute the fearful energy into fearless energy. We'll explore how to move forward from a state of fear to a state of growth and learning. Y'all ready? So let me see if I can get the next slide. Hold up. There we go. Bow. So what is fear? Fear is a natural emotion that can hinder or motivate us. It is crucial to understand its impact on our lives. So let's break down the different aspects of fear. So before we get too much into it, I want to know, what is your definition of fear? Drop it down in the comments. I want to read it, and on our next study hall, we're going to discuss what these definitions mean to us and the experiences that we've had in them and how it's hindered our process, hindered our progress, or how it's kept us stuck in the mud of a mentality that no longer serves us. Because one way or another, we've all been through fear, whether we were children or whether we're in our older ages or anywhere in between. So I know on my journey, this is a part of me overcoming my fear, the fear of public speaking. And I want to use this as a template, not only for myself, but also for you to break down practically how we can really dive deeper. I feel it. How we can really dive deeper into how to break down the barriers that we've set for ourselves. I was having a conversation with T the other day, and we were talking about how fear can be a wall. Fear can be a wall, and Will Smith said it best. Success is on the other side of fear. Yet a lot of us think we have to break it down, and sometimes we do. Sometimes we got to scale that mug, get a running head start, dig a tunnel up under, just walk around and take the long way. Yet other times we can transmute that fear. We can use that wall as leverage to gain access to our dreams by going straight through it and using that energy. So that's what I want to talk about today. Slightly different perspective. So getting back into it. Let's get into it. So let me just make sure I got my place. All right, boom. The fearful state. So the first one that we have is ignorance. And ignorance keeps us in the dark, preventing growth and learning. It feeds on fear, leading to stagnation and regression. I know I've been in some experience where I've been stuck and could not move forward. I mean, even for this presentation, T had to come in and help me get my energy together and loosen up a little bit, you know? For real. The next is judgment. Judgment creates barriers, fostering a negative mindset. It stops us from seeing opportunities and learning from our experiences. Man, hold up. Let me read that one again. Judgment creates barriers, fostering a negative mindset. It stops us from seeing opportunities and learning from our experiences. I love that breakdown because it not only shows us how judgment can affect us looking on the outside in, but also on the inside out. Because when it comes to judgment, it's a two-way street, really. It's an aspect of we can see judgment, and then we can place that judgment on others, and then we start seeing them in the light as if they're not our reflection. Because all humans have, all humans have their flaws, Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. This isn't perfect. You're not perfect. Your friend not perfect. Your mama, your baby, whoever. We're not perfect. Yet when we start to see the beauty in our differences, that we can place down that judgment and allow ourselves to be in a better space of connection. And then when we have that fear of other people looking at us and judging us, then it's just a reflection, because we must be mirroring something in them they don't like about themselves. So if we can flip our mentality to shift this, then man, imagine the possibilities. Imagine the possibilities, man. So let's dive back into it. Complacency. The last is complacency. Let me make sure y'all can see that. 1 second. Boom. Complacency is a result of fear-induced stagnation. It prevents progress and keeps us from reaching our full potential. That's self-explanatory. I don't got to dive no deeper on that. Okay. Now we have the fearful state. So the fearful state is what we just read on. And essentially it breaks down. I looked at it in quadrants. So imagine you have, make sure y'all can see me. And I want to go deeper into this, into more content. But imagine you have quadrants, you know, and in each quadrant, you have your X and Y axis. This is the Y axis and this is the X axis. So my left side over here, I don't know if that's on your right. My screen is flipped. Yet, a second, let me make sure I can see this. Boom. So on my left side, let's say we have, that's the negative. And on my right side, let's say we have the positive. So we have a positive X axis going this way and a negative X axis going this way and a positive Y axis going this way and a negative Y axis going this way. So the fearful state would be in this bottom left quadrant. And the reason why I wanted to look at it like this is because it's almost like a graph on how we can see ourselves going from the fearful state to the fearless state. We want to rise and grow. And it takes multiple steps to do that, which we'll talk more about in this presentation. Yet that fearful state, it keeps us trapped in this box. Literally, we're in a box in this quadrant over here. And it's a lower box that keeps us in a lower vibration, a lower mentality, a lower bank account, a lower relationship with friends and family. It keeps us low. It keeps us closed. And it doesn't allow us to grow. And why? Because of that ignorance, because of that judgment, and because of that complacency. That ignorance, you don't know. You don't know, or you know too much and you don't know how to apply it. The judgment, you're thinking others are not reflection of yourselves, or you're thinking that they are judging you based on you when really it's on them. Really, their judgment is on them. It's not on you. It was never been on you. It's always been on the person that's casting the judgment. The moment you cast judgment is the moment you're looking at yourself. Because in order to pick apart something you don't like about someone, it has to be in contrast with something that you do like. Come on now, in complacency. You might just be afraid not to grow so you don't get judged, so you don't know. So instead of being in the mind state of, let's go back to it. By being in that fearful state, complacency leaves you in a space of, well, I don't need to grow. I'm settled. I'm good just where I am. Because if I grow, then I might have to get uncomfortable. If I grow, I might have to face people's judgments and opinions of me. And that complacency is a very scary place to be, because you get so comfortable in this bubble that only you exist in. And that's not what we were designed for. We were designed for connection, community. Connection and community, man. So you can read this. Let me get back into it. Bada bing, bada boom. The impact of fear. Man, the impact of fear. Fear manifests in stress, disease, and ultimately the fear of death. Let's explore these impacts. First, stress. Now, who here has been stressed before? If you ain't been stressed, then my brother or sister, you haven't lived yet. If you ain't experienced stress, you ain't lived yet, okay? Stress is a physical and mental response to fear. Chronic stress leads to various health issues and impacts overall well-being. Now, I could do a whole lesson just on stress in itself. There's two different types of stress. You have distress on that left negative side, and then you have eustress. Eustress, eustress, that's something that you can use. That's energy that you can use, and that pressure creates diamonds. So that's like working out in the gym. You're putting stress on your body to be stronger. That's like being consistent and going running or going walking every single day. You're putting stress on your knees. You're putting stress on your ankles. You're just putting stress on your legs. You're putting stress on your lungs. Yet by using these tools, using this vessel, using this body, it's becoming stronger the more you use it. Even by using your vocal cords to speak. This is also a muscle, and if we don't put stress on it, then it doesn't grow. And when something doesn't grow, it goes in the opposite direction. Now, in the opposite direction, on the negative x-axis, we have that distress. Distress is what leads to hospital visits. Distress is what leads to medication. Distress is what leads to all things that make us unhappy, unfulfilled, and miserable in life. And if that's you, I'm not judging because I've been there myself, and we'll dive more into that on another call. But I know what distress leads to. It leads to depression. It leads to dissatisfaction. It leads to all things that just aren't healthy. And it really goes right into the next one, dis-ease. Distress leads to dis-ease, which is the prolonged fear and stress can lead to dis-ease. It weakens the immune system and affects both physical and mental health. So not only is the distress usually mentally, you mentally see something in a negative mind state, that affects your cells. And those cells respond to that mindset, which leaves your physical body in tandem with how you think, how you speak, and how you see yourself, your inner and outer world. It's all connected. It's all, if I drink this bottle of water, and I put nothing but love in this bottle. I put nothing but joy in this bottle. I put nothing but wisdom, with kindness, with grace and gratitude. When I sip this water, I feel that love. My cells are fulfilled with that kindness, that grace, and that gratitude. And they've done studies on this. They've done studies saying that when you freeze water and you put a label on it, if you put a label of love versus a label of hate, when you freeze it, it's going to affect the actual chemical breakdown, the chemical component of the water. The water that had the label of love was much more smooth, was much more well-rounded. The water that was frozen with hate was spiky. It was jagged edges. I wouldn't want to drink that water, is all I gotta say. So watch the tap. Hey, watch the tap. Let's get back into it, man. Okay. So then we have the big D. The big one, not the little. Okay? The big, not the little. Ultimate fear is death. It symbolizes the end, often paralyzing us from taking risks and pursuing our dreams. And when I speak on death, this isn't to scare you. This isn't to make you feel like I'm attempting to attack you or even attack the system. When I speak on death, I'm speaking on how we are not living in alignment with our code, with our call, and with our core. Our cells need to live and breathe with our core, with our call, and with our code, because that allows us to be the best version of ourselves possible. That is why the Olympics is going on right now. Now, you might be watching this 10 years from now, and I don't know what the Olympics is going to look like 10 years from now. Yet right now, you have phenomenal athletes in this competition. I'm scrolling on my feed, and I see a TED Talk that talks about how technology has actually produced better athletes. How is that possible? Well, if you're in a biking competition and the mechanics of the bike are getting better, then there's less resistance between you and your craft, which is cycling. So that tool allows you to perform even better. Interesting. Even the shoes for the runners. If the shoes are much more lightweight and more durable and flexible to the foot, then you have more leverage to hit that track. Some people are like this, other people are on their toes, so they can perform even better, run even faster, go even farther, just by the tool being better placed in a position for your performance. So when we talk about the big D, we're not talking about that. We're talking about how to live and pursue your dreams to the fullest capacity by giving ourselves the right tools to perform. We want our tools, we want ourselves to be a indicator of growth, not the opposite. Of growth, of expansion, not the opposite. So we got to feed it, we got to give it, we got to share what it needs every day. Every day. Let's move on. The learning states. What are we doing today? Learning, 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 and learning. You heard? So, real quick, let's get back on me. Let me pull this down so I can see myself. Boom. Y-axis. Boom. X-axis. Boom. Negative. Boom. Positive. Boom. Positive. Boom. Negative. Okay. Now we got that straight. XX. This box. Their fearful state. We talked about that. We talked about how it comes from ignorance, judgment, complacency, and it can lead to stress, dis-ease, and the big D. So think about it like the X-axis are the reasons. So we got the X-axis being ignorance. That's number one. Then we got judgment. That's number two. Then we got complacency. That's number three. That's moving on that X-axis in the opposite direction of learning, which we'll come back to. Okay, now we got the Y-axis. The Y-axis is what? Stress. It's what? Dis-ease. It's what? The big D, not the little. Okay, it's down there. Okay, so that's the X, that's the Y, which means it's a coordinate. X, Y. X is first, then the Y. And that's deeper. It's levels to this. It's levels to this. So with that being said, even when it comes to, when I say levels, the X and Y with women and men, X is the woman chromosome. Y is the man chromosome. The woman keeps us harmonized. The man keeps us expansive. Man, we're going there. So if we step over into the positive side of the X-axis, because we know what this box is and we want to learn, you're like, hey, I might be experienced that ignorance, that judgment, that complacency, that stress, that dis-ease. I don't want to go to the big D. That's cool. So let's learn and come over to the other side of the X-axis. So then let's start there. That's where we're going with this. So we're shifting from the fearful state to the learning state. We haven't gone up yet. We're just shifting from the fearful state to the learning state. That's the first step, is we have to learn a new mindset, learn a new language, learn a new life, learn a new love, learn a new reason to live. Come on, and we can do it every day. You can learn every day how to be a better you. Nobody is stopping you from learning. We have too many tools, too many resources, too much access not to be learning every day how to better improve and honestly just live better lives. It's possible. I believe it's possible. And I believe you can do it too. I'm learning every day. I'm learning with just this live, how to do this right now. You learning with me, doing this presentation, overcoming my fear of public speaking. If I can do it, you can do it too. And whatever you've become fearful of, it's just energy, and we're going to shift that energy. Let's go. Let's go. Back to the presentation. So, and real quick, before we hop back into it, if you are enjoying this content, please comment below if it's resonating, if it's hitting, if I'm speaking to you. Also, hit that like button. And if you really want to support this channel, hit that subscribe. And if you want to learn more and dive deeper into content like this, well, we got it popping on Patreon. Patreon gets it all first, exclusive. It gets everything. So if you really want to dive into the MyCol Academy with that MyCol mindset to master your code on life, pop on over to Patreon, pay your subscription fee, whatever you need to invest in yourself to better yourself. Cool? Back to the presentation. All right, cool. So we have the learning state. In the learning state, fear is used as a tool for growth. I'm not making this up. I made this presentation, but I promise you, I did not practice this presentation before reading this presentation. So a lot of what I'm saying is really true in the moment. In the learning state, fear is used as a tool for growth. It involves reflecting, accepting, and expressing. Reflecting, accepting, and expressing. I love that. That's powerful. So we're going to break down each one of those concepts. Reflecting. Reflecting on our fears helps us understand the root causes. It allows us to learn and grow from our experiences. Let me read that one more time. Reflecting on our fears helps us understand the root causes. It allows us to learn and grow from our experiences. My mother has always told and shown me that the only way to truly learn is to learn from the root. Learn from the true source of where it comes from. So therefore, you know, if it ever happens again, what it derived from. What did it root from? Where did it start? Not the symptom, because by the time it gets to the symptom, it's already then traveled in other part of your cells and other part of your body. But going to the root, it allows you to really dive to the inner core of you. And that's power and knowledge nobody can take from you. If you don't get anything else from this, write this down. By going to the root, it allows you to get to the inner core of you. And that's power and knowledge no one, and I mean nobody, can take from you when you dive and dig deep to your root. Cool? Cool. All right, let's keep going. So the next is accepting. Accepting our fears is crucial for growth. It involves acknowledging them without judgment and finding ways to address them. Let me read that again. Accepting our fears is crucial for growth. It involves acknowledging them without judgment and finding ways to address them. So we have reflecting. Reflecting is all about what? Digging down to the root. And by digging down to their root, it allows us access to expand. It allows us access to learn. It allows us access to see. And when we can see clearly, then we can move not out of emotion, just motion. We can take the energy out of motion and just move because we now have knowledge. We are informed. We are aware. And that allows us so much power to play a position that's not just for the present moment, yet also for the future. So when we can see it from that perspective, when you're in fear, let's break down an example. This, for example, when I got on this call, when I first started this live, I've tried on Instagram, had to cut Instagram off. I needed to focus on one platform, and right now we on YouTube, and this going to be going to Patreon. I got on here and I had some technical difficulties I didn't understand. I didn't learn this program I'm using. And if you do know, it's OBS. I hadn't learned the full capability of OBS of why the stream wasn't going live. So here I am on Instagram and it's glitching, it's messing up. It's like not going live on YouTube. And I'm like, damn, I'm doing my best. I got the lights, I got the camera, I got the audio. I'm setting this up. I'm doing my best to do my best and damn, you know? And I almost allowed myself to defeat myself. Yeah, with the support of my lovely lady T, she came in here, allowed me to be able to be in the space of love. And what did that allow me to do? That allowed me to take a step over here, take a deep breath, dive deep into my root, talk to my coach, and I told my coach, look, I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you because I cannot do it on my own. I cannot do it on my own. I'm giving it to you. And in order for me to move forward, I have to do it in your will, not mine. Because my will is blind to what you can truly see because you are at my root. So going down and digging down to the deep of your root allows you perspective. We often think that we have to go out into the world to see. Yes, that's true for the external environment, yet our true world lies within. So when you dive deep to your root, it gives you a perspective that only you can see. And when you can see your truth at your root, then you can learn to accept it. What is acceptance? A hug. Acceptance is a hug. It's embrace. It's allowing yourself to be immersed in the process, not the end product. To be immersed in the process, because that's where the true learning begins. In the transition. So let's transition back into the presentation. Thank you for that little tidbit you let me go on. It's going to be a lot of that here at MyCol Academy, but it comes with love. So the last part that we have on this x-axis to transition out of the negative, fearful block into the learning state is expressing. So we've dug down to the root. We've got that big hug. Now we accepting it. Now we immersed in it. Now we allowing ourselves to learn and saying, you know, I messed up back then. I might be messing up now, but my tomorrow can be better than my today. And my today can be better than my yesterday. Hold on. Can I get a what? Can you please say it with me? My tomorrow can be better than my today, and my today can be better than my yesterday. Say it with me again, please. My tomorrow can be better than my today, and my today can be better than my yesterday. Why? Because I can reflect on the root of what happened and allow myself the acceptance and embrace of a hug to make it all better. You heard? Come on, man. Come on. Drop a star in the comments if this is resonating with you. We flying to the moon. So expressing our fears through healthy outlets like communication and creativity helps us manage and overcome them. What? Expressing our fears through healthy outlets like communication and creativity helps us manage and overcome them? So wait, MyCol. Hold on, MC. You mean to tell me that just by me moving that energy and expressing it through communication and or creativity can help me manage it and even overcome it? Yes. Yes, you can. See, when it comes to fear, there's a side effect to it. Fear has a side effect of it likes to play off of shame. It likes to play off of guilt. It likes to play off of grief. It likes to play off of disbelief. It likes to play off of doubt. Fear is a weed in your garden. You are a harmonious garden. You are a harmonious garden filled with fruit, with vegetation, with flowers, with insects that fly and pollinate and allow our environment to be vibrant. smell beautiful, look beautiful, and be love. So with you being that garden, what happens when you let one weed in that garden grow? What happens? Let's say you go on a trip to Cancun, come back in your garden, what? Half of it is filled with weeds now. Now, I'm not saying weeds are a bad thing, yet you didn't plant them. Fear often plants itself because it's an energy that's contagious. Fear often plants itself because it's an energy that is contagious. So you can be in such a harmonious state, tending to your garden every day, and all somebody got to do in their garden is not tend to it. Let it run rampant. Let it run wild. Let weeds take over that mug, and guess what's happening to your yard? Guess what's creeping through your fence? Guess what's coming in your grass? Guess what's coming in your garden? That fear, that doubt, that disbelief, that grief, that guilt, that shame. So when fear comes, it comes with friends, and they packing heavy, and they coming through the door, and they don't care what you gonna do. What's the only way to get rid of a weed? And I ain't talking about that weed attack. What's the only true way to get rid of a weed? You gotta pull that mug from the root. You gotta pull that mug from the root. Can I get a come on? Can I get a come on? Let's get back into it. Y'all got me riled up, man. So here we are, reflecting, accepting, and expressing. This is so powerful in itself. Why? Because it gives you a blueprint on how to transmute that fearful state into a learning state and see it in practical ways that you can do every day. Let me say it again. Let me say it again, because somebody was talking to you that you want to call a friend, but they really attempted to distract you from the message the coach has for you. Let me say it again. What's so powerful about reflecting? What's so powerful about accepting? What's so powerful about expressing is that it allows you, I forgot what I said. It was in the moment. It allows you to transmute that fear through practical ways of what you can do every single day. You can reflect, you can accept, and you can express every single day. And it will change your life because it will put you in the learning state, the learning block, the learning mind space, the mindset. That's where a lot of this starts. When you go back and talk about that stress and dis-ease, what is it in? It's in the mind, the mental, where it affects us first, not the physical. It affects us in our mental first. Our mental garden is what gives birth to our physical garden. Our mental garden gives us the seeds for our physical bodies, our physical cells. So what you're feeding your mind, you're feeding your body. And your body is the incubator. Your body is the vessel. Your body is the vehicle. It's the tool to go perform in the Olympics of life. In the marketplace, the Olympics of life. You don't gotta be on the track every day to be a track star. She a runner, she a track star. You are an Olympic champion in your life, doing what you do every day, going to that job, going to school, building that program, going to your community, doing your house chores, paying your bills, living your life, minding your business, tending to your garden. You're an Olympic champion. Truly. This is an official water break. We are going to take a quick water break to tend to our garden. My mind needs water so my body can thrive. That's a beautiful thing about going live, man. You see it all. I'm over here changing batteries. We getting it going. This mug ain't gonna last forever, but that's okay. The rest can be on live. I'm okay with that. So let's get right back into it. Boom. We started off in the learning state. We started off in the fearful state. Now we're moving to the learning state and we're reflecting, we're accepting, we're expressing. What happens after that? What happens after we move into the learning state? Do you know? Oh, I guess that's why you're on this. Okay, that makes sense. I appreciate you being here. I do. Boom, we in the growing state. You see that boy on that mountain? 10 toes stepping. 10 toes stepping. We in the growing state, you heard? In the growing state, fear is regulated and controlled. It involves translating, transmuting, and transforming. Excuse me. So real quick, come back to me. Real quick, let me just break this down. Fearful state, learning state, growing state. See, this is the ideal space we want to be in, yet you don't just go from learning to fearless. That's not how that happens. I've tried it. It don't happen like that. You don't just learn something and immediately you got it. It takes a growth. So sometimes to grow, you got to take a step back. Sometimes to grow, you got to take a step back. Hey, you got to take a step back on them. What does that mean? Again, if we're looking at this like math, because for some of you, you might be like, bro, you saying a bunch of words. But what does this mean? If you look at math, sometimes if you're in a negative state, you got to add to it to get back to zero. Because if you only want to grow, but you don't learn from the root of what got you in the negative place, you could end up in the positive and then end up doubling back tenfold. You could double back tenfold if you don't know what got you there in the first place. So we got to grow. We gotta learn and grow. So on that x-axis, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative on the left, positive on the right. Y-axis, negative on the bottom, positive on the top. Fearful state in the bottom left, learning in the bottom right, growing in the top left. So what does that mean? That we're taking a step back from learning, because from learning, now that we have this knowledge of reflecting, accepting, and expressing, we have to go back to what got us to need to be in the learning state in the first place. So boom, we learned, we got that knowledge. You're watching this video. You're not going to change your life by watching this video. You can change your life by watching this video and applying it back into your life. You got to go back to where you came to change, to grow. So we're going back into the fearful state and saying, hey, what do I need to do in this block so I don't need to stay in this space? Well, I can use this, but that's only moving this way. That's only moving side to side. You're not moving forward that way. To move forward, what you got to stand up, you got to move. So we're going to growing state now. You drop that seed in the ground. What does it do? The roots go down in the negative, then they go out in the negative and the positive in order for them to do what? Grow. I'm speaking to somebody. The roots, reflecting and the learning, it goes down first. Before you ever see the fruit, the roots go down before you see the fruit. They go down on the y-axis. They go through stress, they go through dis-ease, and they go through a rebirth, aka death. And then what do? They spread on the negative axis. They spread on the positive axis. And then what do? They send the energy from that fearful state to saying, hey, I went through this. They send the energy from that positive X, that learning. And they say, hey, I'm learning with this. Let me send these nutrients back up through my spout, my seed, my stem. And then they begin to grow. So I just wanted to break down how we're going up on the y-axis now. So boom, in the growing state, fear is regulated and controlled. It involves translating, transmuting, and transforming. Let's start with number one, translating. Translating fear into actionable insights help us use it as a motivator for growth and improvement. Translating fear into actionable insights helps us use it as a motivator for growth and improvement. I went on enough tangents, so I'm just going to keep moving forward. Transmuting. Transmuting fear involves changing its energy into something positive. One more time. Transmuting fear involves changing its energy into something positive. It is about using fear as fuel for growth. I'm going to come back to this all in one lesson. Write this stuff down though. Please write this down. Transforming. Transforming fear is the final step in the growing state. It involves a complete change in perspective, turning fear into strength. Transforming fear is the final step in the growing state. It involves a complete change in perspective, turning fear into strength. Now let's backtrack here. Let's backtrack. We got translating fear into actionable insights. We translate. So what do we have to do? We got to learn. We got to learn a new language. Translating is about you take one thing and then you translate it to something else that already exists, but you have to code it. You got to use the code of this and the code of this and somebody in the middle that can interpret both those codes in order to translate. Like Google Translator, you put it in there. Hey, where's the closest supermarket? Where's the closest market for fresh fruits? Put it in Google, tap that mug, go. I want to put it in Spanish. And then you give it to somebody. Oh, it's okay. You know, they do their thing. They take you where you need to go. That translator, it allows us the language to communicate and speak with one another. That's what our sales are doing all the time. They're communicating. They're translating that fear into actionable insights. Insights does not mean you're doing anything with it yet. Insights is that perspective. It's the sight within. So you're translating the fear into actionable. You're learning, what action do I need to take? I need to reflect. I need to accept. I need to express. You're taking that and then you're having new insight, a new perspective. So I don't have to be in ignorance. I don't have to be in, you got to see me for this. I don't have to be in ignorance. I don't have to be in judgment. I don't have to be in complacency. I can reflect instead of be ignorant. I can accept instead of be judgmental. I can express instead of being complacent. Actionable insights. You have to translate that energy. Then what do? We transmute that energy. We got to move it. So that involves changing its energy into something positive. You got to change that negative mindset into something positive. And use that negativity, turn it into something positive, and use it as fuel to go, to grow. In order to do what? To transform. That's the final state. Not the final state, the final step, excuse me. The final step in the growing state is to transform, turning that fear into strength. You go from having insight, then taking that action of that insight and doing what with it? Translate it. And then what you do? Transmute it. And then what you do? Transform. You heard me? Translate. They was on the radio frequencies at first. What did Transformers do? They casted the message saying that they were coming, saying that there was a threat near. You heard the sound? And then what happened? Transmutation. The earth shifted. It allowed space, saying something coming. The birds knew, the plants knew, the energy in the space, the water knew. Then once that transmutation happened, they came and they migrated. And when they came and they migrated, what they do? They scanned what was available already on Earth. They transmuted themselves. These beings from another planet came to Earth. They scanned what was available in order to what? Translate. Because they speak a different language on Cybertron. They speak a different tongue on Cybertron. So they had to come here to translate. And then what happened? They scanned the Bumblebee. He scanned the bug. He scanned the bug to transmute. And then what happened after he transmuted that energy? Transform. And that's some of y'all favorite Transformers, Bumblebee. And what did he do? Transmuted and transformed into a bug. Into a bug. Or shall we say insect. And then turned into a Camaro, you know? So let's get back into it, man. I feel like I done rambled long enough. I pray that makes sense, you know? I pray that really does make sense. You got to translate, to transmute, to transform. Make sure you're writing this stuff down. By writing it down, it allows you the perspective to put the pen to paper, and then you have an actionable insight because you're taking action on something that could be new for you or remembered. By writing it down, it allows your body to move, which plants a new seed in your mind. And when you allow that new seed in your mind to grow, it sends new insights down back into your body. That's the power of writing it down. All right, what's the next step here? What's the next phase we got? Ooh, hold on. What do you do? Hold on, what do you do? Hold on, what do you do? Oh, that's a thumbnail. Let's go. I love it. If you see me right now, I want you to do this with me. Do this one up. Come on. He hit that mark. Hey, you hear me? Come on. The fearless state. And don't pay no mind to his eyes, all right? It's AI. Okay. The fearless state. So let's go back one more time. Bow down. Negative X, positive X, negative Y, positive Y, negative X, positive X, negative Y, positive Y. I said negative X, positive X, negative Y, positive Y. I said negative X, positive X, negative Y, positive Y. Okay, now we got that. Negative X, negative Y. Fearful state. Negative Y, positive X. Learning state. Positive Y, negative X. Growing state. So then what's left? Positive X. Positive Y. Let's go. Let's go. The fearless state. You walking in that mug like, what's up? I'm here. It's me. Yes. Come on. In the fearless state, fear is transcended. 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 You hear me? You go from translating to transmuting to transforming to transcending. And that's going into the beyond. In the fearless state, fear is transcended. It involves evolving and changing to reach a state of fearlessness. It involves evolving and changing to reach a state of fearlessness. From fearful to fearless, combining reflection, acceptance, expression, translation, transmutation, and transformation leads us from fear to fearlessness. That's powerful, bro. That's powerful, bro. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Oh, y'all couldn't see that. Hold on. My bad. There we go. Evolving So we got changing and evolving. Changing involves adapting to new situations, perspectives, and being flexible and open to new possibilities. And then we got evolving. Evolving is a continuous process of growth and change, embracing new experiences and challenges. Man, we've come a long way. All the way from fearless to fearful. I love it. I love it. And I want to speak more on this, but I've taken up a lot of your time already, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you spending this time with me to really invest in yourself. I'm doing this for me, yet coach told me to do it for you as well. So that's what I'm here to do. My coach told me to show up, give this presentation, and give it my all. So that's what I'm doing. Ain't holding nothing back. Almost tripped and fell on the whole operation. You heard? Get it together, MyCol. So the last thing we want to do is be. We want to be free, man. You heard? We want to be free. And that's a beautiful thing. Moving from fear to fearlessness is a continuous journey. By understanding and applying these principles, you can transform your fears into opportunities for growth and learning. I'm going to take me off the screen for a second. I want you to imagine yourself in this position. This individual is on the edge of a cliff. Look how close they are to the edge. Yet you don't see an ounce of fear in their body. You don't see an ounce of fear. And what is the sun, the mountaintop, the canyon, the valley, the water, the clouds, the atmosphere? What is it doing for this individual? It is embracing, it is accepting, it is loving and shining on this individual like there is no tomorrow, like there was no yesterday. All we have is the present moment. All we have is the present moment. So imagine that in this present moment, you can do anything you put your mind to. You can do anything you put your mind to. And it's not just with blind belief. That works too for those who believe in it. That's why it's called blind belief. Yet most of us can see and thank the heavens that we can see. So let's see and use the tools available to us in order to access resources that we can use to transcend. I pray this has been a resource to you. I pray that you've been able to use this and now you have new actionable insights, you have practical steps, and you even have some emotional and entertaining moments, whether they came from me or whether they came within you, to actually move from fearless to fearful. I thank you so much. I thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I appreciate you allowing me to come into your space. I appreciate you respecting and being here in my space and for us sharing space together. There will be a part 2. Okay? There will be a part 2 where we break down more of what it means to be fearless. Today, I wanted to focus on a lot of us, even myself sometimes, we be in that fearful state. And that's okay, but we don't have to stay there. We can use that energy to truly be fearless so we can stand on that mountaintop and fly. We can stand over that valley and be free. We can feel what life is meant to be. And that's full. And if you're full of fear, how can you be full of life? If you're full of fear, how can you be full of life? My name is MyCol. This is the MyCol Academy. If you or someone you know is interested and needs this type of knowledge, this type of attention, this type of energy, and you want practical application on how to change your life, because we're going to be diving into the life, into the business, into the relationship of everything around us, because it's all about our communication and communicating that energy of leadership and legacy successfully. So if you're looking for that communication of energy and legacy, if you're looking for that communication of energy and leadership to legacy successfully, please consider joining MyCol Academy today. The link will be below, where if you want to have more one-on-one consultations, or if you are looking for more of a group setting online where we can connect with one another and we can share experiences and share space and grow together, please take some time to fill out the assessment. That's what we have it there for, to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the people. If you say, hey, I can really do this on my own, we'll be dropping some PDFs soon to be able to allow you access to dive deep and do some self-study. So look below for those as well. And then if you feel like, hey, you know what? I can use the PDFs, I can use the program, but I need more. I need more. Then consider joining our membership, where you will receive exclusive and have first priority access to content, to love, to education, really edutainment. We have fun today, if I like to say so myself. If you want to have access to this type of love, this type of language, join the Patreon, join our MyCol Academy, join the Academy today. I really just appreciate you all being in the space, man. This is allowing me to overcome my fears, translating, transmuting, transforming. I plan to use this modality to transform my life by giving game, being genuine, and being graceful. Because that's all my coach has done with me. So I'm going to do it with myself, and I'm going to do it with you. If you allow me, I want to share that gentle, genuine grace with you as well. And this is the best way I know how. So let's transform. Let's transcend. I'm ready if you're ready. Let's go. Let's go. I pray that's safe. Hey, hey, I pray that's safe. Hey, hey, I did away. Hey, hey, I did away with the fear, and we really here said, okay. Hey, hey, I said, okay. Hey, hey, yeah, you know my name. Hey, hey, I said the NYC to the O to the L, like, hey, hey, hey. I said, okay. Hey, hey, I said, okay. Hey, hey, I said, we did that. That's the best one yet. I said, okay. Hey, hey, I said, okay. Yeah. Hey, I said, okay. Hey, 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 what we about to do, about to change our life right now. Let's go. It's the exclusive access. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Gratitude, gratitude. Thank you, thank you. More coming soon. I don't know when part 2 is coming, yet it's coming soon. So come through. I would love to have you there. And we got some programs we've been working on too. And they cold. They cold. I'm telling you. They cold, man. I don't want to give too much away yet because we want to make sure it's just right for you. And we making sure that it's doing the work inside of us first. It's working in us and on us first. So therefore we can share it with you so you can transform, translate, transmutate, and transcend your life. Let's go. I did that, T.